What? What?
Here's our friend Barry
Yeah, nani leaf organic.
picking some noni leaves
Noni
here
leaves,
in
yeah.
Phuket,
That's right. Garden Villa Phuket.
Garden Villa Phuket.
From scratch, we're making a simple meal. The nani leaf, instead of using bread, we're using the leaf. We're going to do a wrap. We're going to use this like bread. Yeah. Okay, follow me, please.
Okay.
Everything edible. Everything growing in the garden. You can eat. No problem.
Noni leaves.
Here we have, this is pepper leaf. This is papaya leaf. Follow me. This is a nani fruit. The menu today is shiitake mushrooms with sweet potato, garlic, onion, lots of herbs, and I'll show you how I do it. Okay, so what I do, I'll take a plate and I'll take the nani leaf and I take the soft leaves, which is easier to digest. And instead of using bread, I use leafy green because bread does not grow on trees. So bread is a man-made product that the human body cannot digest properly, causes diabetes, insulin resistance. Okay, so I have a saucepan of tea. I cook in tea and not just water. And here I have my pre-cooked, pre-steamed shiitake mushrooms with delicious Okinawa-style sweet potato. So
Okay.
what I'll do is I'll put that in the saucepan. Okay. All right. And then what I'll do is I'll add this seaweed, which is high in iodine, the trace mineral iodine, and then I'll add these raw garlic and onion that adds selenium and many other immune system enhancing nutrients. And then what I'll do is I'll turn the induction cooker on low heat, and just cover and let it simmer in the tea. Okay, so here's some of my tea here, and I'll just add it. Okay, and I'll just let it warm up in its own broth. And it's already pre-cooked, so I know I don't have to go very long. I'm only heating it. But I'll make sure that the potato with the fork is ready. Okay. I may add a pinch of Himalayan sea salt. Just a pinch. Now, the reason I do this is it increases your hydrochloric acid. Older people are lacking in hydrochloric acid, and when you add a bit of salt, it helps create more acid in the stomach to digest your food. Okay. Now, I didn't learn all this stuff overnight. It was 30 years of working with food, and I used to weigh 300 pounds. And nobody was helping me. The MDs knew nothing about nutrition. The hospitals never addressed my obesity, 5'3" high and 300 pounds, and they just never addressed the cause of my problem. And so I had to figure it all out for myself. And here we are in my kitchen, going over the food that I eat and why I eat it and how I eat it, and it works. And it works for me, and it works for everybody because we have different constitutions, but basically we have the same needs. The immune system is looking for essentials that's missing from our topsoil. And it doesn't come from the produce or the food, it comes from the topsoil. If it's not in the topsoil, it's not in the food. Basic science. Basically that's how it works. Okay, so this is heating up. I'll just turn it up a bit. Okay. And so my recipes take about 5 minutes or 10 minutes max. If it's longer than 10 minutes, then the recipe, in my opinion, is over-processed, over-thought, overworked, and becomes unrecognizable, because the longer the recipe is being worked on, the more unrecognizable it is. So when you look at the plate of food, you should know what you're looking at. Really, that's how I work. Simplicity, we overcomplicate our food. We put things in it that shouldn't be there just for taste, but our taste buds have been adulterated. Our taste buds are not what our forefathers had. We have been manipulated, and our taste buds have been adulterated to like sweetness, and forget the sourness and forget the bitterness. And this is what's missing in our diet. We have to bring the other flavors into our diet, and then we can appreciate what Mother Nature is providing on the plate. And this is what we're missing today, if you could understand this, okay? So anyways, we're moving backwards, and to move forwards, you have to look at our forefathers and our ancestors, how they were eating, and just copycat them, duplicate their ways, and then you're there. You're in like Flint. I mean, you're all the way. You're all the way to the finish line, and you're going to come out thinner, leaner, stronger, feeling better about your body and your mind just by doing this, because food is our medicine. Hands down, undebatable, unquestionable, food is our medicine. The hospitals, the MDs, the pharmaceutical industry cannot patent food, cannot patent nature. They will never recognize that fact. They won't do it, they won't go there, but you cannot wait for them, because they're not going to fix the problem. You have to do your research like I did, and you fix the problem from the source. And no matter how long it takes, if it takes years, it takes years. Every 7 years we have a new body. Every 7 years our cells, our blood, our bones, our heart, our brain, our liver, it has been rejuvenated and has been renewed every 7 years. So we have at least a window of 7 years to get it right, if that makes any sense. Okay. Okay, so it's all warm. And it's off. And so here's your shiitake mushroom. Here's your sweet potato. The fork goes beautifully into the potato with a little bit of resistance. Okay. Okay, so I'll just let this stay on the stove like that. And this is like the tea, leftover tea I used. And this is what the tea looked like. And I compost this tea. Nothing is wasted. We don't throw anything out, okay? And then the seeds from the food, I save the seeds and it goes into the garden. And then from here to there, we make the food produce more food. And this way we save a lot of money at the grocery store. We let the garden provide the food for us just by ripping out the seed and saving it. And that's why it's important to support the local organic farmers in your country so that you can carry on with the legacy of seed saving, which is what people don't do today. It's a lost art. We should bring it back. It makes sense. Sow the seed. Everything starts with a seed. Okay. So basically, what I like to do is I add hot with coolness together, yin and yang, like Chinese traditional medicine. And then I'll just explain what I'm going to put in the blender. It's going to be a probiotic. This is sauerkraut, traditional sauerkraut. And I'll put that's a probiotic. I'll put that in the blender. Okay.
Where do you buy that, Barry?
You can buy this in any store, really, retail store that sells sauerkraut. You can make sauerkraut or you can buy it. Either way, it's good for your digestion. It's good for your immune system. So I do both. Okay, so here in the blender, I add pineapple, which has a lot of enzymes. Everything's organic. This is organic lemon with the peel. People don't eat the peel. The nutrition is in the peel, under the peel, and it's called a probiotic. And it's called a prebiotic. And the prebiotic of the dietary fiber, and this is raw turmeric, raw turmeric, okay? And the prebiotic feeds the probiotic in the body. So every serving of dish should have probiotic food. And here again, here's a bitter melon. This is a longevity food, and it's very bitter. And bitterness is good for the liver. It's tonic for the liver. The liver loves bitter food, but the liver hates sweet food. Okay, so sweet food is terrible for the immune system. Okay, so the liver is the biggest organ in your body outside of the skin being the biggest. And the liver is working 24/7 to deactivate and to help to detox all the junk and poison that people are today unwittingly putting in their body. And I'll get into that later, but we have a problem because our food supply has been hijacked away from us, and they don't care. It's all about the money, and that's it. Okay, it's so obvious to me after my 30 years of research what the food industry is doing to us. And it's terrible we let them get away with it. And the FDA, which is, they call it Food and Drug Administration, but I don't call it Food and Drug Administration. I call the FDA the Fraud and Death Administration, which is what they really are. But they'll never admit it, and they'll never, man up to it. But that's what they are, okay?
There's some coconut
And
milk
there's
now.
some coconut milk,
Coconut.
okay? Now, the reason I use coconut milk is because it's a good fat. It's a good fat, medium chain fat, okay?
Organic.
And it's organic,
Oh,
okay?
organic.
And here is organic milled flaxseed,
Oh,
anti-cancer, and it works with fat. So you put the flaxseed in with the fat,
organic.
okay? It can be yogurt, butter, it can be anything that's fatty, Okay, and that's the Budwick way of dealing with cancer, is adding fat with flaxseed. Okay, which oxygenates the body. Now here is fermented beet. That's fermented beet, and I may add some of that fermented beet. Okay, give it some color.
What's fermented mean?
It means to culture it and let it digest itself in room temperature or colder temperatures, sealed in glass, not plastic. And time, and you add like a probiotic or a prebiotic starter like lemon and lime and a bit of salt, and you let time culture it. Okay, it's when food is digesting itself. You see, it's all about pre-digestion. Okay, there was no such thing as refrigeration in the old days. People never had fridge like this, and then they would just they were into canning and fermenting and pickling, and that was passed down for generations. And today it's a lost art. We've lost it. We're not doing it anymore. So we're disrupting our bio friendly flora, bacteria in our gut, because we're not fermenting anymore. So I add fermentation to this recipe. Okay. Now what I could do is go to my garden, okay, and I could take anything from the garden, like this, and I could add to the blender. There you go.
What is that?
That was
papaya
a
leaf?
papaya leaf, yeah. That was a papaya leaf. Okay, so from the beet juice, it's a nice pink color. It's beautiful. Okay, so basically,
Beautiful.
yeah, it's beautiful. So basically, I'm going to get my 2 plates. It won't take long. You can stay here and show the garden to everybody.
Cancer. Cancer.
So basically, I believe that no meal, no matter what it is, should taste only one taste. I like the idea of having a meal, having sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and tart. 5 different experiences of taste on one serving dish. I believe that. And that's how I work. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Good, good.
So what I do is I take the magnesium that we're missing. We're missing magnesium on the plate.
The noni leaf, huh?
The noni leaf, raw noni leaf on the plate. Okay. And we can have a big one if we like. Okay. And then I take the sweet potato. Okay. And the mushrooms and the seaweed. Okay. And then I add it here. Okay. Not getting too fancy, but just getting it started. Okay. And it's all medicinal food. It's all nature made. Nothing is processed. Nothing is man-made. Okay. And then what I do is I take maybe a little bit of sauerkraut. There we go, a bit of sauerkraut. Then I take the smoothie of herbs and I pour the smoothie over top. There you go, just like that.
Looks good.
Okay, there you go. Okay, looks like French food. It looks like high class 5-star food, but it's organic. Because in the 5-star hotels, nothing's organic. Nothing. But the price is organic. So they give you an organic high stupid price in the 5-star hotel resort. But the food is genetically modified. The food has a lot of additives. The food has been adulterated, but you're paying such a high price. This is affordable, all organic, growing in the garden at a fraction of the price. At a fraction of the price. Where's the value? Where is it?
Right here.
Where's the value? Exactly. So to give it some tartness, I might add some coconut cider. So I'll put a little tartness on top. Okay? And then what I'll do is, it's up to you if you want hot or not. You can add chili pepper if you want. It would be up to the individual. Okay? So basically what you have is a rainbow diet of rainbow food. It's all color. Okay? Green, yellow, brown, with orange. And that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Okay?
That's it.
So we go over to the table. Okay? Now I like to eat with my hands. Indigenous people around the world, they would eat with their hands. Our primates never had forks and spoons. They would just take a leaf and they would fold the leaf over the food like this. Okay? And they would just eat like that. And they would put the food in the leaf. You don't need bread. This is your bread. You use a leaf. What do you need bread for? And you just, you know, the crunchiness of the leaf and the softness of the sweet potato is a wonderful experience of texture, because you have the texture of the leaf, you have the softness of the potato all at one time in your mouth, and you experience the sweetness of the potato, the bitterness of the leaf, the saltiness of the Himalayan black sea salt, and the sourness of the apple cider vinegar, and then you have the pungency of the onion and the pungency of the garlic. So it's like an orchestra. It's like an orchestra. It's all playing together in a beautiful symphony of color, of taste, of experience. And you notice I eat slowly. You chew many times, because we need to break down the protein in our mouth. Health starts in the mouth. That's where it all starts, in the mouth. So I'll end on that note. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barry.
You're
Excellent, excellent.